How can people shift from that scarcity mindset to that abundant mindset?
That's a great question. I do believe it's important that all of us become clear about what we do believe about the world, about success, about love. I think everybody needs to start there. Even if you start writing it down, um, or having a therapist or a coach or someone actually reflect back to you, this is what I think you believe about X, Y, and Z. Then I would tell you, you have free will in this world. Most likely, the reason why you feel these things is because your soul came to this world with these limitations to overcome. Because our spiritual work is to actually become like the Creator, which is an infinite force of energy in this world. And when we become like the Creator, we receive the energy of the Creator, which is the energy of miracles, and the path opens up. Otherwise, you're experiencing darkness, ups and downs, so on and so forth. So if you believe that the world is against you, that's then the reality you will choose to live in. And those are the only types of people you will meet. You will experience an economy that is against you. You'll experience a political system that's against you. You'll have friends who are in some way against you. You'll have a wife or a husband who will oppose you. And it will then validate further your limited belief. Everyone's kind of waiting for the world to like spiritually nurture them into a new belief system. But we came to the world with a free will to choose it. And we actually asked for that. We asked the Creator that no one else do this work for us besides ourselves. So we need to choose today that the world is not against us, that women are amazing, men are amazing, Republicans and Democrats are amazing. Everything's a product of the Creator. So if you don't like something, you're basically saying you don't like the Creator or you don't like creation. And then you're opting out of the world of miracles. Every time you judge something, you become like it. If you judge someone for being overweight, your metabolism begins to slow down. And that's a spiritual rule. Anything that you judge someone else for, odds are you will have to experience in the next 6 months in some way. Why? Because the energy of this world is an energy of perfection. And it's guiding us to our perfect vessel so that we can receive ultimate happiness. The happiest state a person can be in is one of unity with themselves and with the world. Unity and love is a very euphoric state. And, even the most evil people in the world understand that whatever love or unity is on their level is extremely pleasurable. You look at the mafia, there's unity within the mafia. They understand that even if they're doing something negative, even something negative can only be successful through unity and love, right? So if this is our highest state of consciousness and the universe is pushing everyone to the perfected state, the minute I judge someone, the universe then has to recalculate and recalibrate my entire destiny to have me have empathy for the person I judged. So then you must go through this similar type of pain to the point then you'll realize, oh my God, I can't ever judge someone overweight or slow or inefficient or whatever it is ever again. And so it's not a punishment, by the way. Everything is always about recalibrating to get you to your perfected self.
So what do you say to somebody that was like in a really like unfortunate like situation where maybe they just had something, that was out of their control, super negative happen to them in their life? Like, how do you help that person like reframe that and practice like forgiveness or whatever in a way that they can kind of shed that so it doesn't weigh them down for the rest of their life?
That's a great question. So the sages thousands of years ago kind of explained why things happen to us and when they happen to us is important. For example, if something happened to you before the age of 12 for a girl or 13 for a boy, this process is actually related to two things. One, your soul is still bound to your parents' soul and spiritual process. So often things happen to children under 12 for a girl, 13 for a boy, that actually relate to a spiritual test for the parents. So much so that this child actually came to the world to help the parents grow and chose parents that would be perfect for the parents' growth and vice versa. The parents would be perfect for the child's growth, and the souls all choose each other. The pain or trauma that we go through as children have two purposes. One, as we said, to put the parents into a situation where they choose to grow spiritually and transform who they are. But two, to also create a foundation for whatever that child needs to go through. So spiritually in their life to become the best version of themselves. So sometimes trauma will occur to someone when they're young because that is the perfect foundation and atmosphere they need to rise to their greatest selves later. Now, everybody has free will, and they could choose to go down a dark path of instant gratification and numbing the pain, or they could choose to go through an empowering path and slowly seek out the perfection of their soul, and the universe will then help them as well. The good news is, even if they go down a dark path, which is very interesting, kind of like what you explained to me briefly right before our call, what you went through in your own life, even if they choose to go down a path of instant gratification and avoiding spiritual growth, the universe is set up in such a way that there's a system called pain. Pain comes in as a mechanism to cleanse and awaken a person back onto the perfected version of their soul. So we have two options in life, but in both options, we will get to the same place of the perfected version of ourselves. Option one, do no spiritual work and wait for pain and suffering to push us to do it. That could take lifetimes. And that's why death occurs as well, so that the soul leaves this world, comes back into a new body, new situation, new financial situation, new family, because a new setting is needed since the old setting wasn't working. Or you push yourself proactively every day before the pain comes to achieve the vibration of the creator. And Kabbalah explains kind of practically what that means. Now the universe doesn't need to push you to get there. And so these are the two pathways. These are the two options. This is the free will we all have. So whatever you went through in your life, you need to look back at it and say, my soul chose that for a reason I may not know yet. But I have certainty, 100% certainty. It's to bring me to the highest potential of my soul. And I desire to know what that is. And I want to walk in those footsteps.
I would love for you to tell, I guess, I would love for you to tell a story of a time in your life where you weren't feeling your best. You were feeling like the world, something, someone was against you. How did you get out of that and then turn that into something where you're able to manifest what you wanted in your life?
I would say I was probably 29 years old. I had just gotten married. I was working for a nonprofit my whole life for charity, gave all my time and energy to it. Helped, I know, probably gave thousands of seminars, thousands of hours of private coaching I donated. And when I got married, I had no money of my own because I didn't do it for the money. She didn't have money. And together, we were in love, but it was very difficult life to live. And a lot of more painful things happened. Miscarriages happened and couldn't pay our rent. Like a lot of things were going on. I was in New York at the time, and I kind of felt a little bit of a victim, thinking, hey, I just dedicated my whole life to other people, and the universe is rewarding me with pain and suffering. It didn't make sense to me, and fell into that victim consciousness and some, maybe very subconscious sadness about it. And then I had an awakening. I said to myself, I always ask myself, what would I teach in a seminar if somebody asked me the same question? And then I realized I have to live that myself. And the awakening was, if somebody else went through this, it means that despite what you've given to the world, this is your true test of certainty, to be unconditional with the world, and to also rise above to the level and vibration of happiness as if you are already rich, successful, and abundant. From that moment, I said, despite being 6 months behind in rent, despite 4 miscarriages, despite not being able to buy the things I want, enjoy the things I want, go to the places I want, and all this pain, I said to myself, I'm going to act as if I'm a billionaire today. And I'm going to live and give as if I'm in this state of happiness. I think 7 days later, we came up with an idea for a liquid vitamin, which then morphed into a global brand called Mary with Organics, which is it is today. We have 200 employees. It's a unicorn brand, 180 countries. We're the number one vitamin brand in the country here in the U.S. By sales online on Amazon, for example. And we did this with no outside funding. We did this with no understanding even of how to run a business. But the seed level, at least on my side, from my soul's point of view, was when I shifted my consciousness out of that, that created a vessel to be able to receive this idea that wanted to come down, but couldn't come down because I was in a state of sadness.
Yeah. I love that, man. What a powerful story. I'm curious, like a lot of people, they create momentum. They have an idea, they start a business, they want to transform their health, their relationship, and then like they're moving forward, but part of their past is still kind of blocking them. Their subconscious is still like their old, the old version of them kind of creeps up, the old thoughts, the old patterns, etc. Like along the journey when things were still kind of tough, even though you had this amazing idea, how would you continue to persevere when like the old thoughts and stuff would come back?
Well, there's a lot of things I would say
Mm-hmm.
to guarantee a manifestation here. I mean, one is curating the right community and friendships. Two is tapping into consciousness and spiritual wisdom on a daily basis, having a routine around all of these things, creating a spiritual and physical infrastructure that supports you. But I would say that maybe just a helpful tip is try to finish whatever you start.
Mm-hmm.
So I try not to start anything unless I really believe it feeds one of two things. Either it feeds my spiritual, in a work point of view, either it helps me grow my spiritual platform or it helps me grow my business. But I will not keep opening up new businesses. I will not get on new boards. I will not take consulting gigs. Like all this stuff are shiny objects,
Mm-hmm.
because maybe somebody offers you some money or some opportunity. I keep telling myself that I need to conserve my time, energy, consciousness, and bandwidth to manifest things, not start 100 new things that are always at 60% completion. Because when you manifest something, you like receive a treasure, both in the physical and spiritual worlds, and then gives you the strength to move to the next thing. If you have all these open windows and your soul, kind of the way on your computer you have all these like open tabs, it sucks energy and nothing moves. So I would tell people cut out 90% of the things that you're doing. Focus on manifesting the two or three most important things in whatever category of your life. And then only question if you're meant to do that after you're done with it. See what happens.
So the way to identify like if you're actually manifesting or trying to achieve the right things in your life is by kind of persevering and pursuing them, completing them, and seeing how it improves or not improves your life.
I would say so, because otherwise you'll be stuck in a loop of overthinking everything. The reason you're not getting an answer to your current situation is because you have to shift to a different vibration. The best way to shift to a different vibration is when you complete something. Like when you complete a marathon or when you complete a project of any kind, when you even complete cleaning your room or organizing your house, there's an energy that overtakes you. When things are open ended, they suck energy out of our soul.
Right. You hear a lot about energy when it comes to friendships, right? Like get rid of the energy vampires. You hear a lot about like the way to kind of decide whether or not you should spend time with somebody is like how do you feel afterwards? Like what are your thoughts on energy as it relates to the people you spend time with?
So, this is obviously 100% a spiritual law. Whoever you spend time with, you will become like them. And whoever you curate around you, you should be very judicious about because they will elevate you or not. I think often we're not clear about what we want to feel. We're not clear about what is possible to feel. Some people think that there are only toxic relationships. Some people are like, well, every woman must be like that, or every man must be like that. I don't even know what healthy is. So, one of the helpful things is I love to find time to spend with people who inspire me, and I'll do whatever I can to just spend 10 minutes with them or have lunch with them or do something for them to be around their energy. Well, the fastest way I've learned to find what my limited beliefs are and where my limitations are is just to spend time with people who don't have them. And don't judge any kind of successful person. That's my advice. I remember making speaking about, for example, Elon Musk once in a something about manifestation and his ability to manifest. And then I remember getting all these comments of, oh, I can't believe you were speaking about him or you endorse him, so on and so forth. And my comment is, it doesn't really matter who you're talking about, because if you start judging people, even for whatever reason, you then block yourself from receiving whatever powerful energy or miracle they or any soul like them want to share with you. And so if my only goal is to become the best version of myself and have the best life, why would I even bother judging anybody? It just doesn't matter. Even negative people, even evil people, like everyone has a spark of the light of the creator. If you just focus on whatever good quality they have, two things happen. One, your life gets better. But two, you expand this energy within them and they actually transform. Because the more you harp on someone's negativity, you give energy to their negativity. So if you really want someone to change, constantly see the good in them. If you want someone to stay the same and get worse, keep telling them what's wrong with them.
Yeah. So I'm sure people who are watching this or listening to this, they may or may not go to other pages, other podcasts that talk about manifestation. What are some misconceptions that you see online? I mean, not to, again, hate on anything, but what are some things that you're like, you know what, that's just not true. And if people follow that advice, they're going to end up wasting their time.
It's interesting. I listen, I have so many friends in the space, creators like yourself, and we talk to each other. We support each other. You know, recently I brought a few of them over to my house and we just sat down and we talked about the way we talk to our audiences, the way we bring content out to the world and what's best for people. Something I've learned is everything that people are sharing, everyone has a purpose, and every soul needs to hear what they need to hear. And I may share something different based on what the sages I've learned from them for the last 25 years. But it's not better or worse, or it's not better or worse than what anyone else is sharing, but it is necessary. And so someone might listen, I was on Lewis's podcast. So someone might listen to Lewis or another guest share something. It could be totally contradictory to what I said. And someone may say, well, do you believe in what they said? I will say yes, because your soul needed to hear what they said at that moment for your spiritual journey. And then if the algorithm is showing you my content, it's because your soul then needed to hear my content. And you needed to have that background in order to shift to this background. Because if my content was the only one out there in the world, it wouldn't work, because not every soul needs to hear what I'm saying. And it's actually dangerous. One of the things I pray for is that no one hears this content if they're not meant to hear it. Mm-hmm. And those who are meant to hear it will hear it. If your agenda is just sell and everyone should be inspired, and we just don't know. We don't know what souls need to hear. And I try to make my audience feel that even about me, which is I don't know what's right for you. All I can do is present with love what I feel at this moment or what I've been taught. And then you have the free will to pick from it